first the political kingdom, and the rest shall be added unto you. Folks, these are words from the first president of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Welcome to the Spot On, and my good name is Sam Wendal. Now, today, I want us to discuss, the reasons as to why President William Samoei Ruto must go back to the drawing board if he wants to contain the former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, before they went to the Kamkunji rally, we were treated to a political drama, or call it political higi-haga. The reason as to I'm saying so is that as Azimio were heading to Kamkunji grounds, the president and his entourage were at Kiambu County. Let me call it, they were on the receiving end because they were waiting for what was happening in the Azimio rally, then, coming, responding to whatever is happening there swiftly. So that's why I call it the political higi-haga. Now, Raila jetted back to the country the other day, straight from South Africa. We even saw him, meeting the current president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, when he went there in his capacity as the AU representative for infrastructure. So when he jetted back to the country, he was received by the Azimio top leadership. We saw Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. There was Martha Wangari Karua. There was Professor Wajakoya. So once this was done, they snaked their way, to Kamkunji grounds, whereby they were supposed to go and address their church supporters who are actually waiting for them. So Raila is coming back from South Africa to the airport. He's not going anywhere, but straight to Kamkunji ground. That is a charged Raila. And as they say that history repeats itself, a charged Raila is a dangerous Raila. Kalonzo confirmed at the Kamkunji rally that Raila that was in that particular rally was not the same Raila that left this country on his when he went to South Africa. The reason as to why I'm saying that Ruto must now go back to the drawing board is because of the following reasons. Number one, Raila, and in this case, I want you to be very, very key, a charged Raila is making good use of the masses. And when you look at his political journey, he has been pro-masses, whereby if he wants, to spearhead his agenda, he uses the masses. So in that particular rally, Raila raised some key issues. But these are the things that President William Ruto must now work upon if you want to neutralize him. Now, the first issue that he raised was the issue of legitimacy. When he talked about the whistleblower, the IEBC whistleblower, who claimed, that election, there were a lot of malpractices in the run-up to the August 2022 general election. And someone who controlled almost half of the country, it's very dangerous, to override such kind of a person. You must strategize if you want to counter him. Do you know that right now, there are some of his supporters, and I believe that maybe a majority, I cannot quantify, there are some of his supporters who still believe that their election was stolen. And right now, it's just 4 months, I think around 4 to 5 months down the line since Kenyans went to the election. So those wounds, the wounds of his supporters, I don't think that maybe all of them they have moved on. So in such kind of a political sphere, It's very important to to, to, to ensure that Raila is controlled. If not, that's not the case. Remember that these supporters, some of them, they don't have jobs. And that comes to my second point. Raila is capitalizing on the sorry state of the country. Look at our economy. Our economy is not good, because if the economy could have been good, then we could have jobs. And the masses, the people you saw at Kamkunji, I believe that if they had jobs, they will have not been there. So they are going there because they lack anything to do. And that is akin to anybody who has got nothing to lose. And that's a very dangerous person. That's somebody that when you tell them, go right, they'll go right. Tell them, move left, you can control them because they don't have anything to lose. So Raila is capitalizing on that. One, the sorry state of economy. Because the economy is not good, we can't have jobs. If there are no jobs, people are idling. And that's why on a Monday, in that particular rally, if you're not staying in this country, you might have thought that on that day, we had a holiday, a national holiday, which is not the case. So there's a loophole there that Raila is capitalizing on. The other day, we had the current deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, or Rigiji, famously known as Rigiji. Rigiji asked his boss to allow him to deal with Raila. I don't think that Raila can match, or Rigiji can match Raila currently. I don't think so. Because look at here. Whatever Raila is doing now, he has been doing it since time immemorial. He did it to Moi, he did it to Kibaki, he did it to Uhuru, and is now doing it to Ruto. Remember that when he was doing it to Moi himself, the so-called political genius, he had that particular title, the professor of politics. Raila managed to find his way through. Kibaki the same. And by then, the current administration, you even heard it when they were addressing his supporters. Raila is on record saying that when he was dealing with Moi, the so-called now political father to Rigiji, he was still a toddler. So, being that Raila was successful, he did it to Moi. The same, it's the same history that is repeating itself. They must find a way to deal with him. If he was successful to his so-called political father, what about them? I think that will be a walk in the park. So they must find a way to deal with him. Rigiji saying that is the solution, when he has his boss, that he is the person to deal, that his boss can now focus in, developing the country and leave Raila to him. I think that's a mistake that Ruto should not allow to happen in his administration. Both of them, they need to come down and find a way to contain Raila. If he leaves him to, the so-called son of Mau, I think that Raila will have a field play. Now, another reason as to why I'm saying that the current administration must sit down to contain the former prime minister is that the former prime minister, his modus operandi, I think, is a good student of the 48 laws of power. The third law says that as a leader or as a politician, you need to conceal your intention. What is the advantage of concealing your intention? You conceal your intention on what you intend to do so that your enemy might not react or counter what you want to do. And that's what Raila is doing. When you listen to what happened at Kamkunji, I can tell you that there is no clear agenda to the supporters on the road that he wants to use. Yeah, that's true. He didn't tell them, are we going to resist? What is the clear form? What are we going to do? If you are going to resist, how are you going to resist? It's not very clear. I just told them. In fact, he even promised that he called for another rally, by the way, on the 29th, that is on Sunday, at Jacaranda here. He's not telling them, what are we going to do next? Yes, after having those rallies, what are we going to do? It seems that Raila doesn't have a plan. But from a political scientist perspective, Raila is a good student of the 48 laws of power, the third law. He's concealing his plan so that when he strikes his opponent, that in this case, the Kenya Kwanza administration, he finds them off guard so that he can, his agenda can be successful. And that's what is happening. So out of these particular reasons, Ruto must sit down with his assistants, that is Rigiji, that is the deputy president, and every political leader within their camp, or the so-called the Kenya Kwanza camp. They must sit down and find a formidable solution to counter this problem. Because the danger of this is this: when the former prime minister maybe decides to call for mass protest, it means that the economy is not going to grow. The impact of this is this: the investors will disappear. They'll run away because they'll say that the current political temperature in the country is not conducive for their businesses. So if people can't go to work because of maybe this particular demonstration, it means that people will not pay taxes. And if people cannot pay taxes, it means that the government cannot run, cannot function. People will not be paid their salaries. There will be strikes. And you know them, the impact of not paying taxes. So Ruto must find a way that the economy is going to run, that people will get jobs before the political, whatever Raila wants to do gains momentum. And if he sits down and watches maybe from far, as Raila does what he does, I want to assure him that for the next 5 years, I'm not so sure if he's going to effectively run the country. I believe that maybe after, in the next 5 years, when he'll be asked to produce his scorecard, maybe he'll be, blaming the opposition for not giving them time, to work, for not giving them time to implement on their agendas. If you have not subscribed to this particular YouTube channel, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching my channel. Subscribe, hit the like button so that next time we post a video, you will be the first person to be notified of our next video. Until we meet, or until next time, adios, bye bye.